as anything that happened interesting, I wanted to talk like in passing about a situation I had with a friend. 'Cause, I feel friendships often come up there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Life is about relationships, and friendship is one of the most important relationships you're gonna have.
100%.
And one thing you said a few things you said about friends, like I did, friends not being your fans and giving friends grace and this and that, whatever. And the situation I had with my friend where we kind of had to, unpack and troubleshoot a conflict they had with me in regards to like how I dealt with like my bachelor party and my marriage season, whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that wasn't really prioritized. And the thing that struck me in that was friends, man. Like friends really put on both sides. Like also everybody, people have probably done at least once in their life, whatever. But friends put so much stock in everything outside of just presence and effort and intention. And it's like, if you really sit back and think, like, all right, I may disagree with something or think I could have did something differently or what, let's say even better possibly. But was the intent pure and valid? Or can you see someone doing that way?
Right.
And like, do they value your presence and was there effort in what they trying to do?
Right.
Outside of that, what we really talking about?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And I think we put so much stock in like, what's the money? Did you spend money on me? Did I spend money more on you? And were you on time? And all these things, right? Yo, you don't know what someone got going on in their life and what they got going on in their mind, their head, their livelihood, their pressure, like stress. Like it's a lot of shit going on in people's lives outside of just the one dynamic y'all have with each
100%.
other. So the fact that people put so much energy into thinking and assuming things when 90% is like about intent. If you know their intent wasn't on some wild shit for real,
right? Like I didn't just like cross you out, like,
right? Like,
I didn't deliberately say, you know what, I don't want you there. So it's like if you wasn't able to make it, and that's why I think the grace conversation is like once we ever dealt friendships, it's just about grace. It's understanding that we not about to sit here and be fucking frolicking and hanging around each other all day, every day. It's just not gonna happen. So the grace is, all right, cool. We don't see each other all day, every day, but I'm having something that's important to me. And if you don't make it, that's fine. As long as you're not like, yeah, fuck what's important to you, I ain't fucking coming. It's like you're not able to make it. That's where the grace come into play. It's like, all right, cool. Like you probably had to do some shit for your kids. Or you probably about some shit you have going on in your personal life. And the more older and more mature we get, we have to realize that everybody has their own schedule. Everybody has their own responsibilities and obligations and duties that they have to fulfill. And you're like, well, what about the time that I showed up to every birthday party and graduation you had and you ain't make it to my graduation? You know it meant something. You might have literally had the time at a time where they literally didn't have a time. And that don't mean that they wouldn't have been there if they could have been there. That don't mean that their text message saying congratulations wasn't genuine. That don't mean that if they bought you something and sent it, they could have been really sitting there trying to figure out a way to show they love and support, although they couldn't be there type shit. And most of the time people are so self-centered and they have this main character syndrome, whereas though in this particular matter, it was something that was about you that people made about them. And it's like a motherfucker make your birthday about them. They'll make your wedding about them. They'll make your graduation about them. Why you ain't do this and why? And it's like, yo, this is a day that's about me. So in a day that's about me, you thinking about what I could have did to make your day better. And it's like, that's just where we all just got to understand that, like, everybody's living in their own reality. Everybody's living in their own world. We all have our own shit that we're responsible for. And quite frankly, I don't have to be top priority in your life. And you don't have to be top priority in my life. So it's like, if our priorities align and we're able to kick it organically, then what's up? But if not, then it's like, that don't mean like Q won't fuck with me like that. It just means shit just didn't work. It didn't align. Like,
and one of my favorite, I'm real big on like schedules and systems and staying on top of time and shit like that, whatever. But at the same time, that's how my brain kind of manages those things. It's kind of like on patterns and systems. But for instance, on my girl, because she's a nurse, she has varying schedules. Like it's not just like I work Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Her shit be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Then the next week is Monday, Tuesday, shit like that, whatever. Yeah. What am I? And because I'm the one that's
your girl too.
Oh damn it!
Well, go ahead.
Flagrant. 50 push-ups. But
to that.
But so because her schedule is like that, and I'm one that's kind of usually kind of leading our weekly schedule and shit we got going on, whether it's with Queen or us, shit like that, whatever. I sometimes have to kind of ask her, yo, what days you off this week again? Or what days you off? And she be like, I told you. And I be like, my nigga, I asked you this like a week or two ago. Like, how do you think I'm about to sustain and retain your schedule that changes every week when I'm used to schedule that was just Monday through Friday or whatever? And I think, but again, I feel that's her like kind of subconscious way of not understanding that your schedule is not my schedule.
Right.
I'm asking these questions so we can merge these and kind of work towards it. But again, like I feel a lot of times people show those like kind of subconscious tales of not realizing that I'm not in your life and your path. Like
I'm not in your brain.
I'm not in your brain on time. So how can I'm the? Oh yeah, no. This the weekend. This the week you do work your weekends and not the other 2 weekends.
Yeah.
Like.
But you know what's so funny? Because you can always redirect it by simply putting them in your shoes and make a motherfucker think. Like, you will sit around and think that I am thinking about what you're thinking about. You will sit around and thinking that I know what you're thinking. But if I reversed it and asked you what I'm thinking about, or for you to sit there and spend your day thinking about what I'm trying to plan or what I'm trying to do, you'll realize how quickly you ain't thinking about that shit. So when you take a step back and make people realize these things are important to you, so you assume they're important to everybody. But no, this is just from your perspective, which is fine. But if I were to reverse it and say, well, what day am I doing this? What am I thinking about for dinner? What am I trying to do this? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Who the fuck's sitting around thinking about that? Who the fuck's sitting around thinking? So it's like, we have to have like a line of communication that allows for us to be able to say, okay, what are you thinking? What's going through your mind? How do you want to approach this? How did you approach this? What do you want to eat? All of these different things are the things that will allow for that space of communication. But if you thinking that I'm just thinking what you thinking and we don't got that level of connection, where it's like, all right, I already know you want to do that. I already know you want to do that. Because if we had it, we wouldn't never have no friction. Because it'd just be what's understood and got to be explained. But in most cases, this shit always need to be explained. So just say the shit. You know what I'm saying?